Seattle and extend their winning streak over the Seahawks. Purdy, quite a game on a short week after he had a couple of picks against the Cardinals. This was his 8th game in the last 3 seasons with at least 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions. That's the most of any quarterback in the NFL, 2 more than Josh Allen and Jared Goff. All right, Trent Williams with Lindsey Thiry right now.
It was definitely a must-win. And, just the way the NFL goes, regardless how these last few weeks felt, we still had a chance to get number 1 in the division, which is always a goal we set out to do. So it definitely was a must-win in a crazy environment.
A lot of your teammates spoke this week about the need to play complementary football. How were you able to do that tonight?
I think we did it a lot in the first half. I think in the second half we still got some things we got to clean up. In my opinion, I think it was a little bit too many field goals for my liking. So we got to get in the box in the red zone, but we put it together when it mattered. They made a late surge, obviously. Defense stepped up, got us turnovers. We closed it out late.
Deebo Samuel's 76-yard catch and run touchdown to open the second quarter. What did you see from your vantage point?
From my vantage point, I was hoping he regained his balance before 53 ran him down. It was pretty athletic at the end, but once he got his full stride, I knew nobody was catching him.
You guys now have a long weekend before you are into a Super Bowl rematch with the Chiefs. What kind of tone does this set for the team?
Just another game. We got to go out and play complementary football. Obviously, they're one of the best teams in the league. We got a lot of history between us, 2 teams. So, it's going to be a fun week.
Thanks, Trent.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
From one very good offensive lineman to another very good offensive lineman. Damien Woody with us. When Deebo got loose, is there a rule if you've got a single digit and you're a skill position player, you can't get hawked by a guy wearing a 53?
No, you can't, because film session will be embarrassing for you if you get hawked there
right?
by a linebacker.
Well, he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't. He got there. And we talked a bit, and so did Trent, about San Francisco's settling for field goals versus getting touchdowns. This was a game, Damien, that felt largely, and the stats feel like they mostly bear it out, where it felt like San Francisco was in complete control. And then you look up, and all of a sudden, Seattle's got the ball, and it's only a 6-point game. How important was it for San Francisco, given Kansas City and Dallas coming prior to their bye, to get this game and just get back to level in there for the season?
Oh, this was a huge game. They needed this one because remember, they were 0-2 in the division. They dropped 2. Between the Rams and the Cardinals, had double-digit leads in both of those games and found a way to lose both of those games. Mm-hmm. So to find a way to go on the road in a very tough environment in Seattle and get this win, that was huge with this mini bye coming up.
And you made the point for me. Just they lost games against the Rams where I'm sure they looked back and went, how did that happen? And you could say the same thing about Arizona and give Arizona credit. They stayed in the fight. They forced a turnover. They punched it out. Mason, when San Francisco was going in to maybe push that lead to the same kind of lead as today, they go down, kick a field goal, and win a game. But it's a little bit like Baltimore to me. I believe, and I know San Francisco is good.
Right.
But great teams don't lose games like that. Is that fair to say? Like, if you're great, you're not supposed to lose not 1 but 2 of those in 5 games like that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Coach Parcells, you say you are what your record says you are.
Okay.
As much as we think that they're great, I just go off of what the tape says. What's their play on the field? And so, yes, I think if you look at their personnel, they should be playing better than what they are. They're going to have an interesting rematch, Super Bowl rematch with the Kansas City Chiefs coming up. I think it's going to send a loud message one way or the other.
Yeah, and again, I think they've been banged up early in the season, but I'm sure there's plenty of teams that would hold their hand up and say, "Look, cry me a river, man. That's what this league is." But on a short week, off a loss, to go out and largely control, to me, and again, you've been in those rooms, I would think that everybody in that room is can exhale a little bit and go, all right, we're 3-3, but we know we're better than that. Is that the presumption you have of what they see on themselves?
Oh, absolutely. To go out there again on a short week on the road, divisional opponent in a very tough environment and get the win, man, you'll take that 10 out of 10. It doesn't matter, the style points, how you go about doing it, as long as you get the win. Now you get a little bit of a breather for a big matchup coming against the Kansas City Chiefs.
These next 2 will be gigantic games for us. This show, all the morning shows that you're on. Next week it'll be a whole lot of conversation. When it's been a Super Bowl game, twice. How big a game can it really be for the Niners? Like, if you win, it's not a Super Bowl anything. It ain't a rematch. I get it, but it isn't. You know what I mean? Like, how important a game is it for them?
Yeah, I don't think it's. Honestly, I don't think it's just another game. You heard Trent Williams talking about, you know, when Lindsey brought up, oh, you got the Chiefs coming up after this mini bye. He's like, yeah, it's really another game for us on the slate because they're in a whole different conference.
Right.
This game is more important for them getting this one against the Seattle Seahawks than next week's game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Speaking over my shoulder, this is a Seattle team that started well. Played really well at Detroit, drove up and down the field, lost the game. I left that game going, that's a good football team.
Yeah.
Well, now they dropped a couple in a row. Now you got to go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I feel it feels a bit like they're reeling. They've been really banged up on defense. If leaving this game, just as a final quick thought on Seattle, is this a team moving forward that you feel like can right the ship?
They got to get healthy on defense. That's the problem. You would think a team coached by Mike McDonald that they would be a lot better defensively. They got a lot of injuries, but man, I mean, listen, they gave up 229 yards rushing tonight.
And Mason, who's the backup to McCaffrey, missed all of the second half. I mean, you know, they got gashed by backups, and all due respect, but I mean, that's just on your home field. That's not what you wanted to be.
That is not what you want to do. And listen, if you want to really recapture what you had early on, you got to be able to play defense. And Geno can't turn over the football like he did tonight.
All right, our time together is such a moving target. We got some exciting games to talk about. If we get the chance to do it in our time remaining, if we don't, I never saw you until I sat down here tonight. This was a first, man. I appreciate you being here.
Well, I appreciate you leaving me my grape soda over there. So, you know, that's
Come on,
you my
family.
dog.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
You know what it is. Damien Woody.